Because we live in the world.
We do.
So we need to learn to live outside the world while physically we are in the world.
Yo.
And that's what makes it so difficult. That's what
It's
makes it
very
so hard, because you see certain things being done.
There was a moment where a tear fell from the sky. So it means that that sacrifice was still painful, but he still continued to do it. He still obeyed himself.
Yeah. He didn't even try to compromise.
No.
And say why.
Mm-mm.
Because the moment you say why, you're putting your own needs first. You want to
Exactly.
understand, okay, what's the reason for this? How is this benefiting me?
But he didn't.
Mm-mm.
He didn't even think about what his wife would think.
And did it hurt? Yes.
Yes.
Was it confusing? Yes.
Yes.
But you obey because you know your God.
Obedience without without knowing, but you still obey him.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of She Godly. We firstly would like to thank all the subscribers.
Yeah.
We thank you for your support. We thank you for the likes, continuing to support us.
Mm-hmm.
Please continue to support us on all our platforms. We have Spotify, we have YouTube, obviously, and we have TikTok as well as Facebook and Instagram. Guys, please subscribe, please like, please share. Make sure that you give us. We need your support, guys. Thank you.
So today's topic is about obedience.
Yo.
And that's the tough one.
It's a
tough one, and something that you continuously practice. Obedience doesn't come just once in your life. Something you have to do continuously as you go along the journey of knowing God, knowing Christ. So we're gonna talk about obedience, guys, and just please, as she said, do like, do follow, do comment. We wanna know, we wanna hear, we wanna learn.
Yes, your opinions, your questions. We wanna answer your questions as well. So do comment.
Yes. So what is obedience? So I got this from Google. This is basically what I got from Google. It says it's compliance with an order, request, or law, and submission to another's authority. So from this, it basically says that you have to submit yourself in order to be obedient to something else. Meaning you have to remove who you are from the center and put that authority as the center. So putting God as the center, putting God's law as your center, God's commands as your center. And the only way you can do that is by knowing what these commands are.
Exactly.
That's why reading the Bible is just a lively thing that we should do as Christians. You need to read the Bible. You need to know God. Hear his word and know what he wants or expects of you.
His will for your life.
As a child of God, there's certain things that there's certain life in which you live as a Christian, which is outside of the world. And for you to understand that lifestyle, you need to understand the laws and the commands of God, and to be obedient and submit yourself and your life and your own needs to what's requested or what's asked of you by God. And I like that most. What I like the most about God is that He gives us free will. He wants you to choose Him willingly. He wants you to obey Him willingly. As much as you can say yes to something, you'd rather say no because it's against God. It's against His command. It's against carrying His nature.
And there are other choices that are actually more convenient.
Definitely.
And God's choices for us are not always as convenient as maybe we would want them to be.
Yeah, because we live in the world.
We do.
So we need to learn to live outside the world while physically we are in the world. And that's what makes it so difficult. That's what makes it so hard, because you see certain things being done and they seem so much fun. They seem great. But they're not of your new nature. They're not of the godly nature, unfortunately. But fortunately so, because it's at the end of the day, it's for you.
And sometimes it may seem as though it's God, because there are some people that come portrayed as God, that maybe I am a prophet of God.
Yeah.
And in order for you to receive success, we need to do this and this and that. I've helped a lot of people. There are people that people go to and then they tell them, kill this chicken or sacrifice this, and then you will receive some kind of success. And people have done it all in the name of, I'm a Christian, it is God. God, I'm a prophet. God assigned me to tell you to do that. But it's not that. And if you get to know God and understand, like, who is this God and his commands, and like, you will know that this is not God. You will understand his voice, that this cannot be God. I know my God, and he will never require me, for example, maybe let me say, to slaughter an animal, because he said Jesus was the
ultimate
the ultimate
sacrifice.
sacrifice. So how can you sacrifice something else if he has already given the sacrifice?
Because we do live in the New Testament now.
We're
not living in the Old Testament anymore. We're living in a time where Jesus Christ is the sacrifice.
Ultimately,
so now the only sacrifice that God needs from you is obedience.
Yourself.
Give yourself to him.
Yes.
Give your life to him. Take away your own will and see what he has planned for you. Because he's a good God at the end of the day. He'll never ask of you something that's not possible. He'll never ask of you something that's gonna damage or harm you in any way.
But we do have a will for ourselves. But then we must learn how to align our will with God's will. Like, maybe God does say, whatever you ask, I will do. But still, he also says, like, he also requires of you to know his plans for you, so that they also can be accomplished. So I think also, the more you get to know him, your will eventually align with what his. He wants for you.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, you carry his nature.
You carry his nature eventually. So your thoughts will be his thoughts. Your thirsts will be his. Whatever that you want, whatever you long for, will be what he longs for, because he ends up being in you.
Because you've let him.
Yeah, exactly.
Let him plant that seed in your heart. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so in the Bible it says that in John 14 verse 15 it says, if you love me, you will obey what I command.
Amen.
And then in John 14 verse 21 it says, whoever has my commands, and obeys them, he is the one who loves me. So I think this trend says that God sees obedience as love.
Is an act of love.
It's an act of love to him. Because his act of love was him sacrificing his one and only son. The ultimate sacrifice. But all he needs from you is to listen.
But the son also had to obey. But then the Bible does say the son is God and God is the son. So God still had to obey his will as well. That my will is to save my people. Therefore, no matter what I feel at that moment, because there was a moment where a tear fell from the sky. So it means that sacrifice was still painful, but he still continued to do it. He still obeyed himself. So I think it should be easier for us, although it's not easy, but it should be easier for us to obey him, because he did the ultimate obedience to himself. And I don't think it's easy to obey yourself. There are some things that, like, I would want, and I'm like, I want to save Mara just one last bag. It wouldn't hurt. Obedience to self isn't easy, because there's no one who's going to accuse you. No one's going to accuse you. I'm the one who decided to save. So if I don't save, there's no one who's coming to accuse me. So there was no need for him to continue with it if it pained him at that moment. But
so that means his love for us is much greater than
exactly. So what he requires of us, I think, is much less than that. And we should, like, really try to obey him
as much as possible. So yes, so basically he sees love as obedience. That's how you can say, I love you, because I choose your way. I choose your will for me.
Yeah.
I choose your laws. I choose your commands over that of the world.
I choose you.
And I think having to have somebody in your life, let's just put it in reference, who really chooses you over whatever circumstance or whatever feeling that they have, but they choose you. They choose to be yours, to sacrifice their own needs for you.
It's amazing.
It's love.
It's amazing. And sometimes it's how we interpret love. It's when someone actually sacrifices themselves, or like, no matter what happens, I mean, we're all not perfect, and whatever mistakes you make and whatever like goes on, they still continue to be like, you know what, though I don't understand, but I still choose you. It's amazing. And like, I think obedience is also following the lead of God, even when you're not sure of the outcome. Because most of the time we're not sure. We're not sure where we're going. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, God, I can't see, but I will follow you. I know your voice. That's why it's important also to know the voice of God. I know your voice and I will follow it, although I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I'm going. Another example would be when God told Abraham to go and make a sacrifice, and he had to sacrifice his son. I mean, why? Why? And the first question I'd have is why?
Yeah.
Like, I waited so long to have this child, and then I should sacrifice. Well, maybe sacrifice. Say I should bring him to the temple. Maybe give him to a pastor. Don't say sacrifice him.
Yeah.
But then he still did it.
You didn't even try to compromise.
No.
And say why.
Mm-mm.
Because the moment you say why, you're putting your own needs first. You want to
Exactly.
understand, okay, what's the reason for this? How is this benefiting me?
But he didn't. He went. No, he didn't even think about what his wife would think.
And did it hurt? Yes.
Yes.
Was it confusing? Yes.
Yes.
But you obey because you know your God.
Obedience without without knowing, but you still obey him.
Yeah.
And I think it's the one challenge we have. I mean, we shouldn't say it's easy.
Yeah, it's one of the challenges we have.
You're going somewhere not knowing where you're going. But I love giving Noah's example. Building an ark. Yeah?
Yeah.
Build an ark. The obedience, I haven't seen the rain. There's no chances of rain. But then God says,
yeah,
build the ark.
That's my command.
And you obey it. Whether I see it or not, whether it makes sense or not, whether people say it will never happen or not, I will build the ark because God said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sacrifice, it's discipline, it's stretching yourself out of your comfort zone. It's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. We like comfort. We like being in that corner. We're saying, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know this. But then being obedient sometimes takes you out of your comfort zone.
And sometimes we define God as comfortable. Because with God comes peace. With God comes love. And something that makes us uncomfortable, like it can never be God.
Can never be God.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
It can never be God. God can never say I should sacrifice my son, whereas he gave me the son at this age. But then it's him. He takes you out of your comfort zone sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the character that sticks to mind, if I'm saying it right, from my side is Moses.
Yeah.
I loved how, especially when he left Egypt. He left Egypt because he killed someone, right? And he just found out that he's not even who he thought he was. You know, everything was a mess. And going back, sometimes you just don't want to go back to your past. You just want to move forward with your life, find your family, and be happy. And he was happy. He found a wife, a good family. He was, you know. And then God says, go back.
Yeah.
He had to obey God and go back to where he didn't want to go. Again, saying it was against his comfort. It was against his peace, the peace he knew. He had to go back to face his demons, basically. The ones that he's running from.
The traumas.
And God shows him. And he says, I can't speak properly in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
I have this.
There were many reasons.
That's us. We have reasons. We have reasons why we're doing this. We like God. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
We want God to level with us in our understanding.
And with every reason, there was a solution. God had it all figured out.
Before he even asked you.
Before
he knows
he
you. He knows your shortcomings. He knows what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
And he's not even asking for you to do much. He says, I will do it for you. I know how far you've come or how far you can come because I know you. But trust me.
Yeah.
Obey me.
Obey my will.
Obey my will. And he had to go back. And that's when he actually saw the power of God. If he had not gone back and if he had not listened to the will of God, he would not have seen God to that extent. Sometimes God takes you out of that comfort so that you can see who truly is. You won't see it in that comfort zone. You won't see how good he is. You won't see how miraculous he is if you're so stuck in your comfort.
If you're not tested, without a test, there can never be a testimony.
Exactly. And then you start forgetting who God is.
Yeah.
Because you're so comfortable.
You're comfortable. You don't need him.
Yeah.
So he puts you in a situation where now you will need.
And you see that you do need him.
Yes.
That comfort is not enough. Not for your destiny anyway. You are meant for great things. You're meant to move people. You're meant to move people from an area of salvation to an area of peace, of milk and honey.
Hey!
You are. Not anybody else. Not Aaron, your brother. No, you. It is destined for you. But move yourself from that comfort zone and see God for who he is.
Wow.
That's right? Yes. So yeah, that's why I just really loved Moses and his story.
Yes.
And I found that's how I saw the power of obedience. It goes back to it's not for you. It's not for God. It's for.
It's not for God. It's for you.
It's for you.
He doesn't take you through it for himself. He takes you through it for you. You're the beneficiary.
Yeah.
You receive everything that you're supposed to receive.
Imagine. It's not even for him.
Like every time maybe someone says, obey God, you're like, yo, yeah, ke tla mo obey, ya modimo,
Like,
But then-
say like, yo.
as if it will help him.
Yeah, and even in the story of Moses, he was the great I am even before Moses obeyed him.
Yes,
He
was.
said, I am the I am. He is that with or without you.
Even if you decide not to obey him, he'll still be God.
That's true.
Yeah.
So obedience is for you.
So there is a verse that actually supports this. It's in Joshua 1 verse 8. It says, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, which you may observe, do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, not his way.
Wow.
Do according to all that is written. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. You, not him.
Do we even understand how God loves us? Do we even understand how God, like he does everything for us? He brought his son for our salvation. He had to drop a tear for us. He's giving you the law for us.
You.
Like it's not even for. It's not for him to boost or to say, you know what. That's why he does it
to boast.
Exactly. That's why he says, do it free willingly. Do it because you want to. Obey me. It will make me happy if you do so because it shows that you love me. But I love you regardless. That's why I did this and this and this for you.
And that's one thing. God's love doesn't change. He loves you regardless. Unconditionally. And there's this guy that asked me, Mara, why do you love God so much? I wasn't even aware that I love him so much. I am, but I wasn't aware that people actually see that I love God so much. But he was like, why do you love God so much? And I was like, because he loves me so much. I don't even feel like I love him enough. I don't even feel like the love he has for me can measure, but I discovered how much he loves me through knowing him. So I told him that just get to know him.
Yeah.
Then you will discover that no, this person loves me beyond measure, beyond whatever I can do.
Yeah.
He will love me either way, unconditionally.
That's true.
So the rewards of obedience. Oh, why should we obey? What do we get out of this obedience?
Yeah.
You know, we God's plan for us is always, to prosper us It is never to harm us, but it is to give us a good future.
Yeah.
So, as we had said before, that's why we should align our plans to his plans, because his plans are better than our own.
Always.
His plans are nothing that we've ever perceived, nothing that we've ever seen. So aligning ourselves to him and obeying what he says, because he's seen it before.
Yeah.
He's seen our path before. So aligning our plans to him and obeying when he says, I don't want you to be friends with these people anymore.
I don't want you to be in a relationship with this person anymore.
Exactly. He
But
knows
God,
why.
I love him.
He knows why. At that time, doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
At that time, it doesn't make sense. At that time, it's the perfect solution.
Because we're leaning on our own understanding and not that of God.
Or maybe he says, leave that job.
Whew. You're like, I'm the only person who's working. I'm the
You're the
only
only
one.
person working in your family.
What do you mean, leave this
You're
job?
the provider in your family. But then maybe they're doing things that you're not even seeing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, leave that job. And he doesn't give you another alternative. If you leave that job
I'll do this and then
next week I'll give you this. No, he's like, leave your job. Trust me.
That's the thing about obedience. You don't know. You shouldn't obey because of circumstance, not because I'll do this. And it's not a negotiation.
Mm-mm.
You should leave a job because he says so, not because he
Yes.
promised you another thing.
Yes. You leave your job. So, it's not easy, but it's doable. It's doable. And I think once you love someone and once you know and have faith and have confidence, it will be so much easier to
Yeah.
trust in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying the fruits of what? I'm
Yes.
confused now.
The second reward.
Yes,
The second
was.
reward. I took this from Genesis 22, verse 17 to 18, and it says, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring. He was talking to Abraham. As the stars of heaven, and as the sand. Imagine how many stars there are. And can you even count? That is on the seashore, and your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. In your offspring, all the nations shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice.
Just for listening.
Obey.
Just for saying I will do it. It's not easy, and we're not saying it's easy.
It's not easy.
But we're saying the rewards that come after. They're beyond what you think. Moses got to see the land.
Yeah.
Because he moved with God. Let's find out what God wants to show you.
Exactly.
How God wants to move through you.
His will for you.
Yeah.
Finding out his purpose for you. And it will be easier to walk with him. And also getting to know him, you'll know his voice. Yes. There are many voices. And some voices take you there, but getting to know her, okay, this is the voice of my God, then you will always go in the right direction. And because you hear his voice, he says he will also bless even your offspring. It doesn't end here. It's not even about you. It's about the people that come after you. It's the blessings that you even carry out to the rest of the people. Nations will be blessed because of you.
Just like Jesus had to obey the will so that we are blessed to this day.
Imagine if Jesus was like, I had enough. God, my Father, I have had enough. I have been hit. I have put a crown on my head. This is enough.
Where would we be?
Where would we be? Who would we be? But he had to obey. No matter how hard it is.
And nothing can be as hard as being sacrificed. So we have no excuse, honestly, at this point. Being sacrificed the way he was. There is nothing that God will ask us to do that is beyond that.
And that is actually called passive faith. There's active faith and passive faith. Passive is when
Obedience.
you obey no matter what happens. It is when you completely surrender to this obedience, and no matter what happens, no matter what pain you feel, no matter the misunderstandings or the questions that you have, you obey. You obey. God, you said I should die for your people, and I will die.
People who are abusing me right now
The same people who are abusing me
don't even believe in you. Don't believe that I'm your son.
your son. But forgive them, Father, for they do not know. Give me grace, oh Lord, because I don't think I would have said that.
No.
I don't think I would have said that.
But I think it takes a certain level of connection with God for you to be like that. Jesus was the ultimate connection with God. So I think as we go through our journey as Christians, we learn to be more merciful, more kind, and more loving, and more peaceful.
We learn his characters, we learn his fruits, his commandments. It doesn't even become a commandment anymore. It becomes who you are. And some people call it a lifestyle, but I call it who you are. Because a lifestyle is something that you have to work so hard to maintain. But when he's in you, it's not so hard anymore. It becomes who you are. Yeah.
So that is it for us, from us guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please do comment again, like and subscribe. We'd really love to hear what you guys think.
We do. And tell us, let's put a quiz out there.
Okay.
What is the one thing that God has told you and it was so difficult to obey, and whether you obeyed it or not?
Yes, let's hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it.
Thank
we
you.
love you. Bye.